Hello, my name is Bishop. I've recently got into the hobby and game aspect of war games, and I've also played video games for many years. And today I want to talk to you about reasons to play war games, and then at the end of the video I'll talk about 4 reasons why drawbacks to war games. The first reason I would recommend war games are that there's a large hobbying aspect to it, and it's artistic, creative, and the artistic and creative aspect can get you more invested into the game because you've spent time painting and creating miniatures and terrain and whatever else. I'd like to show this Hulk. This is my most recently finished figure. I spent maybe 20 hours on that, but there's other figures that you can spend maybe 10 minutes making, such as this orc. My brother made that orc. He painted him with my dad, and that's a perfectly usable miniature. The next point I want to make is that most of the objects and things in the game, in war games, are physical. They're completely touchable objects. Some of the things are online, but most of the things in the game are physical. That car was painted by my brother, and then this car was painted by my dad, and that's another example of something that took more time to do. You can spend any amount of time on something. I was making a Kill Team Necron group, and I started making the leader, and that's not how that little crawler crab is supposed to look. But I wanted to make him that way, and I accidentally flipped his head upside down, and I like him more that way. I flipped his legs around, and you can customize the figures however you want. It feels really rewarding to finish a figure, like my Hulk, and then also like that Hulkbuster figure. Yeah, it feels really rewarding to finish something, to finish cutting off the sprues and putting it together, and then also to finish painting it. The next point is that it's a good competitive outlet if you're into sports and you play soccer or play football or whatever. It's helpful because you can compete, but you don't necessarily have to be physical or fit to play a game, war game. And it's easy to play almost whenever. And if you like feeling a victory, it feels good to win a game, and it can also feel good to lose a game because you know the other person probably feels good for winning. It's satisfying when you do well in the game, when you roll well or have good strategy. And then also having a human opponent brings a more social aspect to the game. And means you know that someone's giving you attention, and that you can give your opponent or friend attention. The next point, number 4, is that it's a community game. You give and get attention for playing the game, and the attention's not just, oh, you did good, great, good job, nice. And if the other person you're playing against is invested in the game, then they'll give you attention and they'll be paying attention to what you're doing and making sure they understand what you're doing, so you're not cheating and you're not doing something bad, like moving into a bad position. Sometimes they'll give you advice. And point number 5 is that most of these games are almost completely free. You can get 1 or 2 boxes of the game, and you can play the game absolutely for free with whatever you have, you can use, as long as you have the right size base on a figure, you can just download most of the resources because they're online, and play the game by printing out the character cards or unit cards. We have a friend in Thailand who just printed out the cards for Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we play with him on Zoom, and he just uses our figures. He just tells us what he wants to do, and he plays just by printing out the cards. The last reason why I recommend war games are because it's fulfilling, and you can differentiate each game from another, making it so you don't feel like you wasted your time. Because I used to play Fortnite for a long time. I could play for 3 hours and play 10 or 15 games in those 3 hours, and I would not know what I did at all during that time, and the time would just be gone, and it would feel like I wasted the day. The 4 drawbacks of war games are: 1, they're costly. If you want to have all the right figures and all the right actual cards, the game can get expensive really quickly, any of the games. 2, it can be really competitive, and you can get frustrated when things don't go your way. 3, there's limited time to play the game. You need another person who might not be able to play at any time, even if you have time. 4 is time. A game can take an hour plus, and also if you want to paint miniatures and you want them to look really nice, it can take hours. And if you want a miniature to look nice, it can take multiple hours, but you can also paint them in minutes. A few extra points are: you can use almost whatever you want to play a game. You can use something like that Lego Hulk. You can use custom terrain that is not official terrain. You can use that. And you can also use things around the house that was made out of an apple box, and some other cardboard box. You can, or you can use something that's official and spend a lot of time making and painting something like that. And another example of homemade custom terrain is that we got those rivers on Etsy or something, and we made the base out of cardboard and modular dirt stuff and rocks. And you can also make miniatures out of clay. My stepmom made that miniature and baked it in the oven out of clay. And anyone can do the hobby. My mom painted that Gambit figure. And my stepmom painted that very, very fancy D&D figure. And that is what a figure looks like before you paint it and after you spray paint it. If you want to play D&D, it's a very similar experience to tabletop games. The main difference is it's a storytelling version of tabletop games. In tabletop games, there's a lack of personality in characters and lack of story, but often that's perfectly fine for playing tabletop games. If you like our content, please subscribe and hit the thumbs up button. And bye. God bless you and have a great week.